I remember sitting at a job interview with a panel of three people, me sitting in the middle, and three other people interviewing me for a really big position, big role. And I remember dealing with stage 2 dysfunction at the exact time of this interview. I couldn't tell you how completely devastated I felt inside, but on the outside, I had a smile. I was just trying my best to get through this thing. And the entire time I was interviewing with these three other individuals for this big role, I was a complete fear that I would need to either pause the interview or get up or do something weird. The entire time I was sitting there while I discussed the role and while these other individuals discussed what they did for their role and what I would be possibly doing potentially and what the skill sets needed for this role. The whole time in my head, I'm sitting there in complete just like my ears are clicking, swishing, making weird noises. The pressure in my ears were completely imbalanced. I had this balloon-like feeling in my head. I felt like my head was going to explode. I couldn't keep my head up because of the weight of the pressure, and the ears were so crippling that it felt like my head was just going to just completely explode while I'm sitting there talking to these individuals. I'm sitting here wearing a tie. I have my neck all pinned up with a tie and my collar all buttoned up. I have my vest on from my vest that I always wear when I do interviews or just meetings or whatever. I'm sitting there feeling hot and warm everywhere because I'm thinking I'm about to blow this opportunity. It took multiple calls and emails to get to this exact spot that I'm in right now. And I'm just sweating in every possible spot that you can think of. I'm tongue twisted right now because I can relive this moment. And I think a lot of you can relate. So as I'm sitting there, I'm just going through the process in my head, basically like, okay, I can do this. I know I just need to get through this. I don't have to sound that intelligent right now, or I don't have to sound that great of an employee. I just need to literally get out of this interview so I don't become a memory in all these people's lifestyle. And I remember just sitting there like, wow, how do I do this? So every person had their time to talk. So now it was my turn to talk. So they would ask me questions, my qualifications, where your background is, things like that. What kind of stuff do you like? So I'm sitting there talking in my inner problems going on is still flaring up like crazy, and I'm just discussing myself and things like that. And a few times I remember as I would begin to talk, I remember going like this to rub my nose because I needed to do something to release that pressure. So I would discreetly kind of like, sometimes people would talk and kind of just, I was literally doing the Valsalva maneuver, appearing like maybe I'm just kind of rubbing my nose as I speak, but the whole time I'm trying to do the Valsalva maneuver to release that pressure, so that way at least I can think and focus, because there's nothing worse than being completely overpressured in your head while you're trying to have an interview here. And I could feel the pressure rising in my ear. I could feel the discomfort in my eye sockets, because when you have that kind of pressure built up, you don't just feel it in your ears, you feel it in your eyes as well. They feel a little clammy, they feel a little uneasy, like your eyes don't feel centered. It feels just like you're just like a balloon, literally. You have no stability really, or I should say too much stability, because you have so much pressure and buildup going on. So I'm explaining myself, and at the same time I'm talking about my qualifications, I'm also trying to just literally get through it without bombing anything at this point. The interview lasted about maybe 25 minutes or so, going back and forth. And I just kind of tried to smile through that whole thing. I tried to just get through it. Literally, I think I did a decent job, because literally my goal went from, I really want this job, to I just want to get out of here, like without, complication. I literally just want to like leave this room and be out of this room. It was a really quiet, semi-dark room with a lot of corporate tables, and just like the perfect epitome of like screwing something up. Like while you're trying to look corporate and professional, like there was no looseness in this room. There was nothing that could like distract everyone, so that way you can kind of like, deal with yourself while you're trying to, get through this thing. So the entire time I'm sitting there, and it's just like dead silence everywhere except for our voices speaking to one another. And I'm just kind of glancing through the room, looking at each person, trying to make eye contact, trying to do all the interview things that you should do, while literally making my goal be, I just need to get out of here without people remembering anything I do bad. Like you're that student in class that feels, you feel sick and you don't know if you're going to be able to make it to the restroom or not. Like you literally felt like you just wanted it. Their goal is, please hope this bell rings so I can just get out of here at this point. Fast forward, I got the job, and I can tell you right now that it was not easy. And I think a lot of you make these sacrifices every single day. I was awarded the position, and after I walked out of that room, walked to my car, all my symptoms went away. Everything went away. I didn't feel the pressure. I didn't feel the anxiety. I wasn't as hot anymore. It wasn't that hot of a day really. It was probably like 75 degrees, And I walked to my car with this relief. And I said, this is just, I'm just floored right now. If I could just keep a little of what I felt right now in there, I would have been fine. And I was just remember walking to my car, and I have no anxiety. I have no warm feeling everywhere. I'm actually starting to decompress. My ears are starting to drain. I'm starting to feel better in my eyes. I feel like I can see better. I feel like I can hear better, think better. And I'm just remember walking in my car, not worried if I didn't get it or not, more worried that it just got out of there and no one saw anything. No one saw me say, hey, I'm sorry, I have ETD, I gotta leave. Nothing like that happened. My expectations were literally very basic. Just leave without being a negative memory for these people. And that was it. And I can tell you right now, the moral of the story is that, it was all in my head to begin with. There was nothing that should have amounted to me feeling that much better as I left that room, left that interview. I literally walked to my car, and I felt the most calmness, most serene, most feel-good feeling you could ever imagine. Just literally going to my car to drive myself back home somewhere. The time I remember, I don't think I had any children at that time, so I was literally just going to go home and watch a show or something, or do something relaxing. And I can tell you right now, the moral of the story was that if you don't center yourself and think that, okay, bring down your expectations just a little bit and say to yourself that I just want to be happy, or I just want to leave here and do something fun. Like literally make yourself realize whatever situation you're in, think of something extremely small that you can do, that anyone can do. It could be a show, it could be just taking a walk, it could be your favorite mall, your favorite store. Think about that. If whatever it is I'm feeling right now, I'm gonna go do whatever that thing is that I like to do, and you'll realize you'll start to bring that anxiety down. That anxiety will start dropping down so quick. And all I was wanting to do was to leave that, despite how bad I wanted this world. All of that was secondary at this point. At this point, I just wanted to just leave and feel better. And when I realized that kind of put two and two together for me, and I realized how impactful the anxiety really is on ETD, and how much it really pays to, when you start to feel that influx of anxiety, you start to feel that pressure, you start to feel all of that, you realize that it's actually more in your hands than you originally thought. I had thought that this was something out of my hands. And when I walked in my car and realized how much better I felt, I was like, okay, I didn't take anything. I didn't get awarded anything. I literally don't have anything different than what I walked in with. In fact, I'm more confused if I did anything better in there than I have now. I literally walked out of there with nothing different, and I felt better. So that kind of opened up my eyes and told me, it really is in my hands at this point. It's really up to me. I got to do something for me now. I got to take care of myself. I got to do better. And by doing better, it doesn't mean do a lot. Doing better means just doing something different, doing something more cater to your feelings, cater to your mental health, cater to you. It doesn't have to be extravagant. It doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be over the top. Doing better doesn't mean do more. Doing better means doing something more, doing something that identifies what you need. And it doesn't mean doing better means you got to do something crazy. You got to do something that's going to cost a lot of money, a lot of time. Literally doing better means to simplify simplify something that's going to help you strategically feel better. It's going to aid in your healing, and it's going to move the needle in your favor. And that's what it did. And after that interview, I didn't hear back for about a week. And during that entire week, I felt terrific. Why did I feel terrific? I literally feel like I just gave a C+ performance in an interview, but yet I walked out, and for that week I felt better. Why? I think I felt better because I realized that the problem of ETD that I've been dealing with, despite not knowing or wondering if I got this job or not, I had stumbled upon something that was going to probably end this thing. And if I could end this thing, everything else would improve. When you realize that you're close to the meaning, the feel good, you're close to the happiness, to the healing, everything else is secondary. So think about your life right now. What could be secondary? Remember, I tell you one thing though, your health is never going to be secondary. So whatever it is you're worried about, put that into second and third, fourth place, and put you into first place. And realize that it's only a matter of time that you stumble upon something that's going to make you feel better, and you're going to start embodying that. And then it's going to start triggering, oh, it really is something I can do about it. And then once you get to that point, you'll realize, wow, I really can control this thing a little bit better than what I've been doing. And after that week went by, I was told I got the role, and I started working. And was my ETD gone? No. Was I better? Yes. And after that point, I was manning the ship. I was controlling a little more of my destiny. And after about 4, maybe 3 weeks after, my ETD was gone. Stumbled across red light therapy. Started doing better with all the things that I've already talked to you guys about many times. And now I'm at the healing point, which I know all of you will be very soon as well. So I hope this video was very helpful for you. If it was, please take time to subscribe to the channel. I try to bring content as often as possible. But in the meantime, I'm going to step out of the J1 studio and leave you in good hands with this video. Like anything else, folks, we're here to simply go back to the basics. Take care, everybody, and I'll see you in the next video.